Hello, you lovely lot. Oh, it's so hot and muggy. I said we were going to have a storm the other day. No, we don't get storms here. Oh, what happened the next day? Whoosh, the rain came down. Okay, so enough about the weather, but I am British, so you know, have to get the weather in somewhere, as well as a cup of tea. Okay, so I wanted to just share a bit of the journey that I've been on recently. Tears, hiding under the bed sheet. I would say the duvet, but it's too hot for a duvet. What the fuck is wrong with people? Like, yeah, I've had many of those moments. And it's come up because of the book that I'm writing at the moment, Digital Nomad. It's the first book in the Mermaid's Guide series. This is a series that I've been researching and collecting information and observing as I've sailed around the world. And the Mermaid's Guide series is what it's called because I've been called a mermaid since I was little, as well as a dolphin, because I'm either in the water, on the water, and when I'm in the water, I tend to be under it most of the time. I love it. It's just like, silence. You can just hear your heartbeat. And it's just like, it's like just being, you know? Just you and your heartbeat. It's just beautiful. So anyway, the Mermaid's Guide series is a series of books that will cover leadership, culture, women, sailing, the environment, food, what else? Being a digital nomad, parenting, and looking at how around the world I've been, and all the things I've been experiencing. And yes, they all go in alignment with my authority mastermind and my PhD. And I'll talk about all these different subjects. I talk about these subjects all the time because they're a passion of mine. And I'm someone who has social justice and cultural diversity in my very core. I get really frustrated when people pay attention to the stuff that doesn't really fucking matter. You know, first world problems, people. And I'd be guilty of it. When I went to live in Egypt, I did have a bit of a meltdown because I did not have 3 recycling bins. Oh my God, the world ended. It's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't have a bin for paper and a bin for tin and glass and plastic. Oh my gosh. Spoiled little Westerner. How about that then? Yeah, I call myself on my bullshit. And this is one of the reasons why the Mermaid's Guide to Being a Digital Nomad has confronted me massively. I chose this life. I chose to set sail off around the world. Winging a prayer. I'm going to go do it. And I did. And I am. And I like people. Not everybody. But people are really beautiful people. Like, obviously, beautiful people are beautiful people. But one of the things that I was writing in the book last night was how we have been programmed to fear each other. We have been programmed and brainwashed that places are dangerous, that I'm distracted because, I'm distracted because I have this view. Hang on, look at that. Rah, of course. Ocean view. Thank you very much. If I can't be in it, I've got to look at it, right? Mermaid soul. But we have all been programmed to fear each other and to fear government and police. And I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday who's based in Canada. What a place to be at the moment. And I said to him that I cannot believe and I know I'm going off subject slightly here, but I cannot believe that the people in Canada cannot get their fucking arse together and say, you know what, this is a load of bullshit, and rise up together. Because if the people in Egypt could get their act together and overthrow Mubarak after a 30-year dictatorship, then seriously, Canadians, what the fuck are you doing? Now, one of the things that I've said, which has confronted a lot of people, because yes, guess what I do? I confront people apparently, and apparently I'm scary, but I'm not. I was just a pussycat. I am a pussycat. Meow. But anyway, if you believe in God, why are you afraid of the government? Simple question. Because to be in fear of someone other than God and to follow anything other than God's law is going against the holy teachings, is it not? Now, it says follow the laws of the land. But laws of the land that do not follow the laws of nature and that actually go against the laws of nature, and any laws that are put in place that go against the Universal Declaration of Human Rights can be challenged. And it's a bit of a shit show in Canada, and I do really want to just jump on a boat and go rescue my friend. Got a few friends there. But I'm like, not that he needs rescuing, he can rescue himself. And if you're listening, I know you can. But being a digital nomad, especially one that sails around the world, and writing about all the stuff I've witnessed, and what it's like moving from place to place after 7 or 8 days, 7 to 10 days, you have to learn about the laws of the land. You learn a lot about humanity. You learn a lot about health and what we're actually capable of. And I've got really confronted. I'm supposed to be in the labour ward at the moment, birthing this fucking book. And I have actually now put fucking book, because it is, it's been a harsh one, because the growth that I've had and the way I've been confronted with my own growth and the lifestyle I've chosen, and the fact that I haven't seen my oldest son for 2 years, that's a bit of a fucker. That's painful. And I don't know if when I'll get to see him or my other son. I've sailed halfway around the world for a US book tour. And if I have to have the vaccine to get into America, my book tour will not be going ahead. I've still got about a year to get there. It's all right. I'm a sailor. We have patience. We can wait for these things. We go when it's time to go. Wouldn't go anywhere at the moment though. I mean, there's a breeze, but there's not much wind. Clouds out there look a bit gnarly. But anyway, she's really beautiful. I love the ocean. Wow. Anyway, but yeah, this book has brought up a lot of stuff, because my children were supposed to be flying into every country that I go to visit me. And because of the pandemic, they've not been able to. And we don't know when we're going to see each other again, because none of us want the vaccine. We've given them the choice. We've given them the information for them to make up their own mind, and we've had conversations. Do what you like, boys. I'm your parent, but I don't own you. I don't control you. Here's information. Make up your own mind. Let's have a conversation. What do you think? And I do get frustrated when people worry about the stupid stuff, what I classify as stupid stuff. And I know that we're all on our own journey. And I know that we're all in very different places. And it's not a judgment thing from a nasty place. For me, it's like, why don't you want to know about the stuff that's really going on? Why do you want to bury your head in the sand or learn how to do... I mean, I say, if you can learn to twerk on TikTok, you can learn about what's going on in the world. But the fact that you're distracting yourself with all the stuff that's not really, really important. You're allowing all the bad stuff in the world to happen. You're sitting on the fence. You're doing a bit of a Sweden thing. Sorry, Mons, if you're watching. He's a friend of mine from Sweden, human rights professor. But if you're not speaking up against these things and you're burying your hand and looking at all the fancy, we're allowing things like sex trafficking. We're allowing things like abuse and corruption and racism and slavery to happen. And when I see some of the most beautiful people in this world living in conditions and experiencing life on a whole different plane, a whole different level of existence in a whole different realm, and seeing what's possible, you just think, oh, why do people bother with all that other stuff? Why do people have a fear of missing out? Why are people jealous? You get to choose the life you live. You get to choose everything. You get to choose where you live. You get to choose your religion. You get to choose these days you get to choose lots of things, but I won't go there. That's for probably a very different podcast. I know this is not a podcast, but I will be having that conversation over on my new podcast, The Truth Serum. And if you're a bit of a delicate daisy, you won't want to listen to my new podcast. It might be a bit too much for you. But these places that I visit, I've had some passive aggressive jealousy from some people. It's like, well, just make different choices. I chose this life. I chose to live this life. And the choices I have made have left me in a situation where I've had to sacrifice some things, like sacrifice seeing my children, sacrifice having the girls over for a giggle. My friend Renelle, she's out in Australia. I don't know when I'm going to go see. I don't know when I'm going to see her again. I know I'll see her again. When that will be, I don't know. There are some really amazing humans that I want to meet. But while we give in to things and we give in to being part of a system that is set up to control us, it begs the question of why do they want to control us? You see, you only control things you're afraid of. You control a fire because you're afraid it's going to spread. You can control your children because you don't want them to bring shame and embarrassment upon you. You want them to behave nicely. But again, that's all relative. We've got people trying to control the weather with lasers, creating all these storms that we're seeing in different parts of the world. And that's really scary. We've got governments sending down guidelines for schools because they want to control the children and control what people think and how people learn. And filtering your photos and filtering your videos and editing everything, I believe is a form of control because we want people to see a certain perspective. Now, one of the reasons I love going to the theatre rather than watching a movie is because I get to choose which part of the stage I look at. Whereas when a movie, you get what the director wants you to look at. One of the reasons why I love books is because I can paint a picture with letters and the reader gets to combine those words with their own imagination, with their own place where they're at, their own journey, their own experiences, and they get to create a completely different image and experience with my books that someone else gets to create. It's a very personal thing. And as a writer, writing the books, I get a very different experience from my books than my readers get. I read my very first book I wrote 10 years ago, and I don't recognise that woman. I'm not that woman anymore. She died long ago. The woman in my second book, the fire is still there in all of them. And it might be because I'm getting older and I might be in my 40s, love. But I'm chilling out a lot more. I don't really get angry. I get frustrated. But I don't get angry, because angry is really toxic. And seeing the growth I've been on as I've been writing this book, being a digital nomad, understanding the laws and the languages and the cultures that I've learned about, the constant moving, the energy, the need for a good mattress, because a good night's sleep is just perfect, so necessary. Writing this book has been, it's been powerful, really powerful. And not just because I'm a powerful woman, not just because of that, but because it's presented me with a view of this whole journey, this whole 3.5 years, all in one go. And I've gone, holy fuck. I've learnt so much. I've changed so much. I've sacrificed so much. I've grown, and my business has grown, and the opportunities I've had. Oh my God, I really don't like the bees here. They're massive. Like, seriously, they're like flying rats. No, seriously, they are. Except they don't have a tail, they have wings instead. But yeah, that's the thing, the wildlife and the food I've experienced, the food I've eaten. Cheese ice cream, what the fuck is that? I mean, I didn't eat it, I just had a little tiny taste of it, and I was just like, no, that's just not right in any form, way, shape. Ugh. But it would be rude not to. And that was before I was vegan. And I really don't know where this is all going. This live, well, it's not live, it's recording. I don't know where this journey is going to take me. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm just going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I'm going to be putting one sail up and taking another one down, and doing a goose wing and going port tack and then starboard tack, riding another wave, diving into another ocean, and just enjoying the journey. Being grateful for everything. Being grateful for just being alive. Being grateful that I am a mother. And I do have 2 amazing sons who I love and adore, and who bloody challenge me so much. Call me on my bullshit. Like, they're 14 and 18, and they are my greatest teachers. As all children should be, really. Although I don't like the word should. But those of you who've got to the end of this, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've taken something from it for yourself. And when the Digital Nomad book comes out, I hope you'll enjoy my journey and the things I get to share about culture, law, languages, moving on, logistics, the highs and the lows, the humour, the sarcasm. Oh, it's all in there. I love this book, but I hate it all at the same time. It's like being married. You love them, but you want to smack them around the head with a saucepan sometimes. And yeah, my ex-husband is one of my greatest cheerleaders. You'll hear, we're going to be having a series of conversations on my podcast. And someone has asked me, will you ever get married again? I hope so. I really do. Marriage is just amazing. Even though my first one didn't work out, it was an amazing dynamic. I loved it. Yeah. So anyway, enjoy your journey. If you get confronted, just step back and just think, what are you grateful for in this moment? Because when you get confronted, it's because you're not seeing who you truly are. And as Linda, the lovely, lovely Linda, says, my lovely Linda, she's my one space to my two space, fellow avocado and papaya eater. The only way through it is to go through it. That's not what she said, but it's similar to that. And now the nursery rhyme going on a bear hunt has just popped into my head, and I'm probably going to be singing that for the rest of the fucking day now. So I'm going to stop this. But I do wish you all the very best. If you are wanting to find out more about what it's like being a digital nomad or an author or a thought leader, or what it's like to stand in your truth and own your truth and speak your truth, then reach out to me. There are many different ways you can work with me. And there are many different books out there. There's about 8 at the moment you can dive into that will leave you saying, what would Dawn do? That might go on a t-shirt or a mug one day. What would Dawn do? I like that. Move over, Jesus. Dawn's arrived. Anyway, have a really great day. Nice chatting with you. Ciao, ciao.